Hello everyone, it's Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Bren. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello. And we have our co-host for the week. She's a personality and motivational speaker. Her name is Harriet Ogbobine. Welcome to the show, Harriet.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good to have you, Harriet.
Oh, happy to be here. I'm so
nervous?
happy. Not really.
Good.
Because you guys have made me comfortable.
Oh, great. So what do you do, Harriet? Tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm a counselor, an educator, a counselor, a motivational speaker.
Right.
I'm also a blogger.
Oh,
and
nice.
I write for some newspapers and then a magazine as well. Every woman is a housewife. I am a housewife that loves to cook.
Oh, no. You love to cook too?
Oh, I love to cook.
What's your favorite meal you have?
Oh, favorite meal? I guess my children will say, oh, our mommy's jollof rice is the best.
Really?
Nigerian jollof.
The Nigerian jollof.
Yeah.
And then with my spicy chicken, with my secret recipe.
We're following you home after the show.
With my secret recipe.
We're following you home after the show.
This is nice. So you need to send us a nice plate of rice and chicken.
I
so
will
we
do
taste
that
it.
so that you can have a taste of my meal.
So how many kids you have?
I've got 3 kids.
How
My oldest is 32. I don't want to, I just want to shock you all. And my youngest is 22. Yes, please.
Your mommy.
We're not
Yes,
made to.
We're not mates in any way.
Okay. Welcome, man. Your colleagues are here.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God! For real?
Yes, please.
You gotta be kidding me.
You look this hot.
Yeah, my darling, I was a comfortable size 22.
Size 22.
Yes, please. And I started myself on a healthy lifestyle, changing my lifestyle.
Oh, you're my new best friend, honey. I'm trying to get to that. Oh
And then
my
I've
God.
maintained this weight for the past 15 years.
Wow.
And it's the best thing that can happen to anybody.
Because the show is over. Can we go home?
I think so. In fact, for real? Yeah, how you didn't tell us this before? I wanted this reaction.
I wanted this reaction because I love it. When I get the reaction, I love it.
You're beautiful.
I love it. I
You gotta
love
bring it
it.
back for health and wellness.
Oh,
You gotta tell us how
anytime,
you-
anytime.
So I'm about to start my diet. You know, I've been waiting for my baby to be 6 months. And
Okay.
I lost about 12 kg when I did my keto last year. And everyone's like, Mariah, just go back. And I'm waiting, let this baby be 6 months. Let the baby enjoy correct meals.
Exactly.
After that, then I'll start. But it's good to know that you've been through this thing for 15 years.
Wow.
15
and we
years.
can learn from you.
Oh, 15 years. And every day I had to do the same thing and I love it. And I say to people, the tip I'm going to try out there is 1, self-discipline, your diet, and whatever you are doing, you have to be consistent with it. Exercise into it. That's what tones it.
Right.
And you look at the stomach, that's very flat
Yeah.
now.
Hey,
My
you should be
darling.
Miriam's friend.
That's very flat
So it's
now.
exercise that
You guys
tones it up.
Exercise is what tones it. And then the food,
I don't use in the house.
use it, my darling. Use
I have a
it.
sit-up table.
You have
I
really
don't
finished
use
the show.
it.
In fact,
Let's go
there's no
home.
more
Let's just
show
go
now.
home.
In fact, you've given us the meat for the
Let's drink our tea and go.
Oh, wow, fantastic. We're going to come back to you.
No.
You're not escaping this again.
No, I'm signing on to you.
Oh,
Take
fantastic.
me the way you want.
Let me come to you, guys. How are you doing?
I don't have anything to say. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm just wondering about, we've had this rain now that has been falling since. Has it not passed 7 days? Are you sure Noah has
About
not
5
built
days.
an act somewhere and they did not invite us?
I know.
Because my
Sun
roads
has
are
been
terrible. I had to come by taxi this morning again because I couldn't. You know that day I was forming here and talking about producing water-resistant cars. I didn't know I bashed my bumper.
Oh, no.
I pulled out my bumper because of the bad road. So I'm doing taxis for a while now. Yeah.
You should learn to drive
Terrible.
on bad roads.
With that car. No, that's not the kind of car I buy.
So how are
It's
you?
really sad. though.
How's
I'm
your...
very happy. Today's
Thursday.
Aima's birthday, Miriam's daughter. Happy birthday, my darling.
Happy birthday,
And her mother was
Aima.
the girl who just turned Nigerian on you. She's an Edo girl, me from an Hausa mother. She can call it Ekpe for Okpe. She did a song. I'm sure she learned in school. And Miriam posted it on Instagram.
I haven't seen the
She was
video.
trying to say thank God in Yoruba, and decided Ekpe. And then she wanted to say Bagaja in Hausa. She said Nagaja, and the mother still was doing. I was
all
like, look at
right.
this one.
Please
you
leave
get
her
how they
alone.
do the code mixing. Yeah, before you hear the formal Nigerian language from Aima. But happy birthday, Aima. May you continue to live for many more fruitful years. Continue to be a blessing to your parents. Congratulations,
Aima is
Miriam.
actually a very sweet kid.
Very
She's
sweet.
one of my favorite kids
people
right
that are
now.
planning the
Very
birthday in my
sweet.
house,
And we're going for the birthday now.
Inside the
Anyways,
birthday.
we have to go. We have to go. So happy birthday again to Aimat. I can't stop staring at you.
Oh, God.
Oh, me? Oh, no.
We're changing the topic, right? We're changing this topic, right?
It's like it. I can't stop
Oh,
staring at you.
no.
Like, you look amazing.
Oh,
Could you tell us your age?
thank you.
Would you really tell us your age?
I'm going to say I'm in my 50s.
Jack, you look like you're 25.
I'm telling
Yes,
you.
and when I walk with my son, they say, who is that babe?
Hey, Father, give me the grace. Give me the grace. Let's go on a break. In fact, you've just changed our topic today.
We have changed the
We're
topic.
discussing this matter. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Right. So we're going to breeze through the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We're right here. The Nation. Buhari's cabinet. Security screen states nominees. $4 billion World Bank grant for states. 3.4 billion naira pension funds unremitted. Abdul Razak wins certificate fraud case. EFCC rearranged ex-minister Akinjide. Amosu arms allegations are laughable. July 1st of articles, PDP application. Okay, let's start with the Buhari's cabinet, security screens, state nominees. What's that story?
Yeah, so Buhari's nominees from all states, at least 3 nominees per state, are being screened by security agents. However, some people lobbying for ministerial positions have started to threaten Abba Kyari and Mama Daura, the supposedly closest people to the president, for at least an idea on who made the list, trying to get to it. And there was a subtle protest that they said was sponsored by certain people in Abuja against these 2 personalities. And the president has instructed, according to the Nation, that
because people actually assume that they feel that
the
they are going to influence the list. So they're trying to, their security might be compromised because people are trying to get to them, to get to know if they are the ones going to be influencing the president's list as regards who he picks from the nominees across the states. And that story that caught my attention was Amosu's story, the arms. You know the story, we kept saying that if indeed the allegations are true, he should be arrested. But he's saying he was all the paperwork that was required, all the due process that was required for the acquisition of the arms were followed.
Yes.
And he got the approval from the NSA's office, and that
Former President Goodluck Jonathan.
and no, that
Yes.
he also got approval that he's aware of it.
Yes.
And there was a period when Ogun State was going through serious security issues.
he mentioned Ogun.
He mentioned all the various scenarios they were going
the
through.
Agbara robbery and all that.
Yes, and why they needed to acquire those arms. And it wasn't done in secrecy. The handover wasn't done in secrecy. Actually, it was in
In
full
addition,
glare of
the
everyone's. Sorry?
The present governor was one of the major suppliers of the arms in question.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
that is very
That's
material,
immaterial.
because
It's not material,
if you
because-
want to call your alibi, you're
So are you suggesting that the current government is sponsoring
we're not
this?
saying,
So
but
it's
you know, that's
immaterial
why
regardless of who provides
that's
the
why is,
ammunition for you.
The person, sorry, I'm trying to remember who he is, to the present governor, has replied and said, we don't like this smear attempt.
Okay, quickly, the Nigerian police.
Yeah.
So they are having their screening starting from July 1st for the people who have the shortlisted applicants for the recruitment into the Nigerian police. So from July 1st to the 28th of July, it will be happening across the 36 states. So they shortlisted 210,150 applicants. But there's just a budget to take in 10,000. And I'm wondering what's going to happen to the rest 200 and something thousand in the country.
Interestingly,
They should find businesses to do, really.
Some states in the north have some huge at 12,000
Yes.
applicants. Lagos had the least, only about a little over 1,000 people
Lagos
applied
and
from
some
Lagos.
eastern states, yeah.
Why don't you want to join the police in Lagos? What's
There's
that
no
about?
money now. Will you join? Will you send your son to join?
Daily Sun. NIHSA raises the alarm. 30 states under threat of flood. Gunmen hijack bus, kidnap 10 passengers in Ondo. Governors ask World Bank to extend lending portfolio. Torture still rife in Nigeria, Amnesty International. Okorocha wife, others took away 67 vehicles, says Imo government. Any story there?
Yes.
So the major
Which one?
headline.
Is anyone that catches your attention?
Okay, the one for the gunmen. Yeah, the gunmen that were adopted the travelers on Ado Ekiti.
Right.
It stated that 8 people traveling on a bus to Ado Ekiti were, adopted. And that was on Tuesday. at Itaibo.
Yes.
And the identities of the victims are still not yet cleared, something like that. And then we're not sure because another aspect has been is also saying that
they were 10.
They were 10, and then another one is saying it's only the driver.
Yes, that's
so
the
the investigation is still going on.
No,
and
it's 28. Like, the figures are just going
And to
everywhere.
even join that story, in one of the papers, the Oba of Benin is saying that they are now creating detention camps for kidnapped victims in Benin, in his domain, in the city of in Edo State. And they are taking advantage of the forest around him.
Detention camps?
Yes, for kidnapped victims along that road. In joining the story, I would also like to believe in the knowledge of Benin City that I have in having strength in local security to cope certain parts.
Okay, let's talk about...
But the major headline,
Okay.
the floods. So the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency, through one of their directors, has warned that 74 local governments in the country, and out of the 74 local governments out of 30 states in the country will have serious flood issues this July, August, and September. And they are warning that government should plan along these areas at a forum where they discussed issues of...
Is that not late?
It's very late already.
They are giving us this warning in January.
But then again, this is good. It's still coming in time. I remember during Fashion last time, they had what they called canal dredging. So it really helped when these warnings came, and the serious dredging that we have had along Lasso and Mautu area reduced the waterbed, and we had a very dry season.
Well, I just hope because a lot of people have been experiencing flood.
Yeah.
And it's because of clogged drainages that have not been cleared in a long while.
Let's take another story.
Okorocha, yes. So the chairman of Imo State Recovery Committee, Jasper Ndubuaku, has made an allegation that the past governor, Okorocha, made away with 67 vehicles. And his aides. His wife and his aides, 67 vehicles. And he mentioned that, I wanted to mention the caliber of vehicles here, but there's a Prado involved, about 7 Prados, yes, 7 sports utility vehicles involved, and some other bulletproof vehicles also. So he is saying that he's not going to take it lightly with them anymore. He's going to deploy about 6,000 youths to go after them and recover those government vehicles from them. So I don't know why you leave a position and then you go make away with, though he responded saying that it's just blackmail, that he didn't go out with anything. If they have any case, they should write.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. How 28 travelers were abducted along Ikere Ekiti and Akure. So the figures are 10, 1, 28. We have no idea, but the Ekiti government says we're studying the situation. NERTW in Ekiti says ill-fated bus belongs to our member. Oba of Benin says criminals building camps in Edo Forest, which I think Nima mentioned earlier. And again, Vanguard has been consistent with the picture of the proper gridlock. And they're saying, is it beyond solution? I mean, this picture speaks 1,000 words. Dakwa Biodu supplied APCs in 2012, says Amosu. Amnesty International frowns on alleged torture of suspects by police and military. Anti-Kiari protesters sponsored from Aso Villa APC group alleges. I spent only 1.2 billion naira on funerals, not 2.3 billion naira, says ex-Bauchi governor. Please, somebody should have that story.
She has it. One I have it died. So according to Bala Mohammed, the former governor of Benue State, his spokesperson...
Benue Bauchi.
Bauchi, sorry. Jubril is saying, Jubril is the spokesperson, replying us that no, that they didn't spend that amount of money. What they spent was 1.2 billion for burial, and this was a tradition he inherited from previous governments. These monies were spent for burial material because, the people, of course, they expected it. As Tokwe broke it down, a certain amount for China white, a certain amount for mahogany for the burial. This was a practice inherited from his predecessors, considering that it's significant an impact on the people, especially the bereaved. He decided to continue with this practice.
Very interesting.
And I'm thinking, so if a practice is not is not constructive, you can just inherit it.
As tradition.
Yeah, and you see, it happens sometimes, like, it seems like our leaders don't have a vision. If you have a vision, you will be directed only by that vision. On all these other extra things, you won't even go there.
Imagine that you earmark a proper cemetery where they deal with this thing and leave families to deal with the
Yeah.
things that you spend this money on,
I
and
think it's
divert
just a
1.2
misplacement
billion
of priority.
to equip classes, or build a particular unit in a hospital where they can now
Let's
take
move
care of
on.
cancer patients or something like that.
Daily
Just
Trust.
painful.
Boko
Billion.
Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno, attacks Yobe local government. Nigeria seeks China's support for Mambila power project takeoff. JAM nullifies results of 4 candidates over forgery. Buhari Lawan meets behind closed doors. Jonathan approved Abiodun supplied ammunition, says Amosun. Actually, there was a story that caught my attention. T.Y. Danjuma.
Did you read that?
The Punch.
It was in the Punch, actually. It's worth $1.2 billion. Owns international hotels and oil block, according to Bloomberg reports. Listen, man.
Shy.
When I read that story, you guys need to read that article. I mean, his daughter, I think his second daughter, Gentiles, was saying that they're proud of acquiring this. There's this British, I think, 300-year-old British hotel that he acquired, and it's going to be charging about £250 per night.
Wow.
Once it's finished. And when you hear this kind of the amount, he got this money from the oil block, actually, he got during the military regime. And just think to yourself, like, these people are
sharing and
in fact,
dividing
like
the
they
country
own
for themselves.
resources.
It's painful. And there's nothing we can do about it. We can only sit here and talk about it. There's nothing
$1.2 billion. Quere.
about it.
That's his value. You need to read the article, maybe to help us cry small. But that's all we can take. Sometimes you need to read these things to
Really cry
just let you
small.
know that you help us to think that do we really
Should we still
have,
be
is
here?
there a light at this end of the tunnel? Is there, hopefully?
Are they worthy leaders, what we call elder statesmen and leaders? Are they leading us exactly to our own interest?
Or
They are
to theirs?
securing their own. Let me just add to that one. That's all.
It's Thursday. Let's not get depressed. We must be happy. It's Thursday. We're gisting today.
Open house.
And we come back with gisting about everything. But first, a serious issue: post-traumatic stress disorder. I think today is the day we commemorate that day. And we'll be discussing with somebody well-known who's experiencing it, and she's going to share her story with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So today is World Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Day. It's a day dedicated to raise awareness about this lifelong struggle and the people it affects and how each of us can help make their lives just a little easier. We have on the phone an international journalist, Kemi Olunloyo. Welcome to the show, madam. Are you there?
Thank you, Mariah. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Good to have you on the show. You've always said it on your Instagram page and your social media that you're going through this post-traumatic stress disorder. And there are a lot of Nigerians that are actually experiencing it, and they don't even understand how to diagnose it or how to even treat it in the first place. So could you help us have a clear understanding of what it is, what caused it, and how have you been able to manage it so far?
Okay, Mariah, what I want to say to Nigerians basically is I'm going to talk from the perspective of a health professional, a clinical pharmacist, and a patient. I am suffering post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is what we call it. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a flashback of traumatic events. If you ever had trauma and the flashbacks of that event, it can bother you to the point that it can debilitate you. You cannot go to work. You cannot function. You cry. You curl up in your room. I'm in my room 5 days a week straight, and I come out on the 6th day. My son will cook food, bring it to the door. I can't come out. I'm scared. Fear or flight. It's either you're fighting somebody or you're flying away or just running away from things. So a lot of people classify it like a mental illness. PTSD is actually not a mental illness. It's a mental disorder. Now, you know, the reason why it's not a mental illness is because trauma itself is a human experience. Trauma is not a mental illness. Trauma is a human experience. I'm not the only one suffering PTSD in Nigeria. Almost the whole of Nigeria has PTSD, but Nigerians refuse to talk. They refuse to come together with me and say, I'm going through this. Look at the Northeast, the insurgency. Look at what's going on with kidnapped victims. Look at what's going on with cultism, ritualism, all kinds of people. And it's not just the person that's suffering PTSD. That's the one you're looking at. You have to look at the people related to them. Look at how long I've been going through it. My PTSD started when police came to my house to arrest me. And they came in bundles, 14 of them.
Let me go there, Kemi, for a second. Since your arrest, we've seen how you've almost, I don't want to use the word, lash out at different people, different personalities online. People see you, quote unquote, attack other people for different reasons, and they've seen you go through different shells and different experiences online. Could this be as a result of the disorder you're going through, or is it just a personal agenda towards others?
Mariah, that's a good question. It's actually as a result of my PTSD. I lash out at people online for the littlest thing. I lash out at people for the correct, the wrong. I block people, and I'm just aggressive. That's part of the fight and flight. Right. PTSD is about fight or flight, so that's the fight part. And it's not like you're blaming anybody, okay? Everybody knows what happened to me in the case. I'm not going into that. I'm going into the PTSD now. The thing about it is that I was on Star FM Lagos, a radio station, and you know UTVC were the first to have me on for PTSD on World Mental Health Day last October. What did I say? I said, when somebody has post-traumatic stress disorder, okay, they become very insecure, okay, insecurity. You're scared of everybody, everyone. And what happens is that, you know, you want to run away. The whole country wants to fly abroad and live in a better country because of capital flight, brain drain. It's PTSD causing it. Now, I did a fundraiser and told people, help me. I need medical money. I want to go abroad. Look at that fundraiser, for example, Mariah. You're going abroad to where? Is it going to be better if you go abroad? Can you, no lawyer? What about that man in Zamfara State that carried you on the bike? Let me just tell you this real quick. A bike man in Ibadan carried me. He had a bullet wound. I noticed it. And I said, hey, what happened? He said, we were sitting under the tree in my village in Zamfara when 12 men showed up in Okadas and they opened fire at everybody, killing everybody, petrol in our houses, burning everything down. Isn't that the story we hear about the insurgency and banditry?
All right, thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. One second, Kemi.
Yes, so I know that anger is one of the hyper-arousals of PSTD and PTSD, and it affects the relationships of people around you. So what do you expect from people who surround you? What do you expect from your family members, your friends? How do you want them to relate with you? Secondly, there are people who we've received from kidnapping. I don't want them
to relate with me. I'm scared of all of them. Friends, family members, anybody.
So
that's how a PTSD victim is.
How do we help? How do we step in? What do we do to people suffering this disorder?
Okay, saying that to me as a victim and me saying to others as victims. For example, the bike man, he said they killed everybody in his village and he ran over to this side of the country. How do I help him? How do you help me? Basically, what we need is what they call psychotherapy and outdoor therapy. That's what I'm using right now. Psychotherapy, I go see a psychologist every week. It's very expensive, $50,000. You see, some people do it for $20,000 per hour in Lagos, but it's expensive. Does that average person in the IDP camp have that kind of money? Do you understand me? So you try to relate to people you don't know online. Social media has helped my PTSD, but I do see people saying, Mariah knows this because she follows me everywhere. Mariah, don't you see people telling me that I should get off social media and rest? Yes. No. You can't get off social media because you would now have suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation. Turn off the TV, turn off your computer, and then you start lying down and thinking about, let me just end it, I'll kill myself.
One second. One second. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk about the trauma that leads to this. I hear trauma, and I don't see governments understand the risk that is living a person that has suffered any kind of trauma to themselves. Okay, so you've mentioned that it is expensive to have at least a psychologist, to see a psychologist. Yeah. I think you should highlight the dangers in leaving anybody, especially those people who have been through Boko Haram, the kidnappings and all that, to themselves, to the community generally now. What are the risks? What is that risk that is there in leaving them all by themselves on the entire community?
Unattended to.
That's exactly what I want to say. You're the best lawyer in Nigeria, Nima. You read my mind. And that's the main thing I want to talk about. We have the 9th Assembly now in session. They need to look at how we're going to fund PTSD. Taraji P. Henson, an American star, went to testify in Congress. I want to meet with my senator and my House rep. I want to testify in front of the 9th Assembly. We need funding for PTSD. This is not a Kenya lawyer disease. The insurgency is causing PTSD. The people that we saw in Borno State, the young kids who we saw in Borno State, that the UNICEF said they were fighting as a civilian JTF. Those children are being rehabilitated. They're suffering PTSD. PTSD started as a military disease. People went to war in America. They came back. They had all kinds of problems. Fort Food. Everybody should Google Fort Food. Dr. Nidal Hassan, an army psychiatrist that went to war with the army, came back, shot 46, killed 13. This kind of stuff can take a toll on you. So if we have children working as child soldiers, fighting Boko Haram over there, also our army, our Nigerian army need help for PTSD. Okay. So we need the 9th Assembly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kemi. Thank you very much, because we have to run off right now. But I really appreciate you calling into the show. Thank you very much. Now,
thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was important for us to call Kemi on this conversation. The reason is because people always forget to separate the message from the messenger. Because of all the issues around Kemi Olunloyo, so people just don't listen to her. But it's important you understand the meat of what she's saying. This post-traumatic stress disorder is a reality in our society. Everybody's going through some kind of trauma. And when you hear that a father is sleeping with a daughter, somebody's shooting somebody's head, somebody just, you'll be wondering, why would they? It's because they are going through this issue. There is an internal disease that's eating them out.
So to leave them to themselves is even more dangerous.
So
and
if we all
have soldiers returning, maybe half as they went into the war, some people whose parents went and they didn't come back, some children witnessed their parents being killed in some attack up north. And we leave those people to themselves and say they will get over it.
They'll be all right.
It's more dangerous because the person just walks around with a built-up anger and doesn't know when to vent, and the wrong time might be the time to vent.
She made a distinction between that it's not a mental illness, it's a disorder. If we had time, I would have asked her to expatiate, because sometimes we hear that and we feel they are sick in the head.
It's a disorder because when we look at it, the situation, what have happened to the person carries it on and is not treated. It is sad that in our society, we actually don't pay attention to counseling. We see that, oh, that means I have a colo patient, I have a problem upstairs. No. Somebody who has gone through that needs to go through a process in the process of counseling. That will help the person to heal.
Well, who's going to pay for this counseling? They're expensive.
It is
They're not cheap. You know, are you going to counsel me for free? No.
No.
So it's your job. I'm saying people need.
Kanu mentioned we're subsidizing the wrong things.
Thank you.
We should subsidize health, subsidize, education, and subsidize them well, not in a corrupt way, so that once we are putting it in, it's leaking through the basket, another hole.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on that segment. But thanks again to Kemi Olunloyo for sharing with us this issue of post-traumatic stress disorder. Let's go on the break. When we come back, we'll discuss other issues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So over the weekend, there was a story online about a 14-year-old Nigerian boy who was forced to marry his 15-year-old girlfriend. In the video, we could see that the girl was heavily pregnant. So we asked, what is the right approach in this situation? Should they be married? Or should they be separated? Or what other options are available? If both of them were your relative, what would you advise them to do? You can call us on 070-80668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. So, Abeji, let me start with you. If these guys are like somebody related to you in some way, and you come as a big sister, big auntie, what do we do? I'm 14, she's 15, she's pregnant. What do we do?
I go first flog them.
Okay.
As in better flogging.
Okay.
You don't have sense, Abi.
She's pregnant too?
No, I'm talking about the boy.
Okay.
So of everything that is worrying you now is to get a child pregnant, a girlfriend pregnant. So you have started doing. Okay, no problem.
That doesn't solve the problem.
We bring, hold on, no, I'm starting now, preamble.
Okay.
We'll bring your wife now home to come and have this baby here. But for me, no marriage will take place because the truth is, they are not matured enough to even know what marriage is about. So if I put them together to marry, who fits them? The boy doesn't have a job.
Let me come to Nima then. To Nima, in your own perspective, if they're your relative, what would you do?
Me too, I laugh. Where will trend? So, where did the child decide to do something that is too adult for something he shouldn't have, when he's not ready for the consequences? How did they get there? Now, every decision a child takes in life, there must be consequences, and I don't know how you raise them, but I agree that we'll take care of them. The girl can come home and have the baby, but the nephew in question must be fully aware that he don't buy with markets. Don't buy markets. So, for me, putting them together is making sure he doesn't relinquish that responsibility.
Okay.
That's the marriage.
Okay.
So whether it's by marriage, because this didn't happen in the north, because they would have said it's an Islamic thing. This happened very, very, and you saw them bringing the items to the family. This is how Africans have dealt with issues like this.
So you would rather them stay together, either married or
wherever, face it together, gum them.
Yes.
Whatever you do,
they're stuck together.
They're stuck together. They had this together. Take responsibility together. Start your responsibilities earlier than your mates.
Okay. Let me come to you. Your view, when you read the story, if you're the auntie, what would you advise?
First is to ask the question, where as an auntie, where did I go wrong? That's the main question. Because when we look at issues like this, it tells you that the parents actually have not played their role as parents.
Exactly.
Sex education, every child must be educated to understand the implication of every action that they want to carry out.
Thank you.
Now, if you decide to go and have sex, these are what pam, 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 you lay it on the table. You mention it to the child. Now, a child that is aware, no matter how the hormones plays up, will always understand that, listen, no, there is boundaries here.
Yes,
boy, hold on, no.
Yes, ma'am.
I am not ready. And I keep hearing my mother's voice. I keep hearing my father's voice or my auntie's voice about this issue. So please, I beg you, let us wait. Hold on.
Wait for
now,
me.
it has happened now. We now said, let us put them together, husband and wife. What are we doing? They are children. These are babies.
Yes, they are.
They are babies. Are we congratulating them?
You contradicted what you just told us. You told us that they take responsibility. These are the consequences.
That is, I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
Muriah, I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
Putting them together to say, okay, because you have done it, take the responsibility, be married. At what age? 14, 15? Take the responsibility in a way. Understand now, boy, Emeka, that you are now a father at 14. If this is where I wanted you to go, you will go and learn so that you can start getting money to start taking care of this baby.
Buy Pampers.
But this girl, I will take you into my house. I am not clowning two of you, husband and wife.
Yes. Okay. So when she now gets the baby, do you not give her back to her parents?
When they have the baby, we have to sit down and decide. The first thing is this, I'm not going to encourage that baby to be terminated in any way.
Okay.
Of course.
You must carry that cross.
I would have asked that.
You must carry that. No, you must carry that cross that you have used your own hand to carve for yourself.
Well, after she delivers,
now,
do you
after
return her
you
to her
deliver,
parents?
the family will all sit down. We will take a decision on what to do. But my son or my nephew must understand that he will take the responsibility.
Gotcha. Let me take
That
this
is
call.
the lesson.
Let me take this call. Morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, please. That's
Good morning.
Bukola, I believe. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Ujola, go ahead. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. With those children, because being a family planner, clinic supervisor before I left Nigeria, you have this teenage behavior that you cannot predict what they can do.
Yes.
And when this type of thing happens, you make sure you give them that support to have that child. Let them feel the pain. Let them know what they have done. But if you commit, if you blame the boy, you know, boys are free. They can go anywhere and pregnate another person in future. So he doesn't want to marry the girl.
Yeah.
But make the girl and the boy together.
to make them realize, now see them together, because then they will now realize what they have done is not the right thing. But you condemn them, they will do the work.
Okay.
So it's better for both parents to come together and agree that, oh, this girl, you are going to school. The boy, you are going to school. And this is how you start your life. And let them be responsible, be taking care of that child together.
All right, thank you very much.
No relationship that will
Thank you very much, Ojola.
Okay, so you mentioned something while you were talking about asking yourself questions, where did you go wrong? Sometimes it's not about you that you have gone wrong. Sometimes you may have laid out all the cards. You have done that lecture, you've spoken to the children, you've taught them about sex education, but then they still go ahead and do what it is they want to do. So I see a lot of parents, when things like this happen, they feel they blame each other, they feel dejected, they feel like they are failures, they have done this, they have done that. Sometimes it's not about you. You've done the best that you can do. You could have 15 children and one decides to become a thief or something.
See,
there's nothing you can do about that.
Soon, but I want us to I'll come to you. There are some parents that are going through this right now. That their teenage son or teenage daughter just got pregnant, and the teenage son is, being irresponsible. We need to help them on how best to approach it. So you said take responsibility. You said possibly you're going to stay together. You're glued together. You're saying that they shouldn't be married.
They shouldn't be married, but he will take responsibility for the child.
But what our caller just said was that they should still go back to the normal lives as kids. They should not. So she shouldn't stop, drop out of school.
After the baby, who will pay the school fees? Who is paying for the diapers?
I've listened to counselors over the time, over years, when you talk to children about things and you take away the consequences because you want to remember that they're children, they never get the lesson.
They don't learn,
So even if you've had a talk with your child, okay, the way I was given my own sex education, it was the toughest love, hard talk. So my mother called me and said, I have 4 of you and you seem to be the most outward, obey. You look like Anasha. So let me just tell you, if this were to happen, you will end up with a family. This is how they will turn you to Yawole. You will kneel down and walk. You will clean with your pregnancy. You will suffer through it. And you will not be able to abort a pregnancy in my house. So think twice about that decision. And that message never left me. Because I always see the picture
let's go on a break.
hard.
When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. So I wanted to take Nima up on this angle. You said that they'll be glued together because I understand you're somebody that you promote moral standings in marriages, and that's something you've always done. But when you glue a 14 and a 15-year-old kid together, say because they're pregnant, and they are stuck together for a period, once they mature and they see life, they realize that they were never in love. They come to realization that, you know what, I don't really like you. And then what, is that not causing not fornication, adultery? Is that not going to cause the wife or man to look out because you never really loved this woman?
Are we debating the values that you raise the child with, or we're debating how you support the child when this action has happened?
If we're insisting that we force them to stay together, that might cause further issues in future.
I am not going to live with the consequences of that action of that child. My mother said she would not live with the consequences if I decide to have early sex.
Right.
So it was clear for me, so sex was not my business as a 14, 16-year-old.
Point taken, Nima.
Marriage.
My former boss got pregnant as a young lady, I think maybe 14 or so like that. And she left her child to her mother. Her mother took care of her as a sister, like she was taking a sister brother. So her son was like a brother. Now, eventually she went to university and she never told anybody that she had a child. The child grew up thinking his mother was his auntie. He didn't know until he was 18 years old.
But she learned from the action she took. She learned from the consequences. How?
But the mother took responsibility of that baby.
Yes.
Didn't throw her out.
No, Moriah, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
Even if you marry that child with the person that got her pregnant and they live within your house, you're taking responsibility. But you're making them live and face the consequences rather than give one person an escape route. And I told behind the scene a different example that I have. The girl eventually left the child for the mother of the boy. The boy too does not understand the consequences of the action that they did. Okay. And the mother is busy backing the baby up and down, living with the consequences of the decision of both of them, even after raising them properly.
Okay, all right. Let's calm down. Decision of a teenager. Most times we know that their brains are still developing. That's the truth, medically. And I think as parents, we should just be supportive, because the truth is we do not know the path that child was meant to take. Everybody is not meant to come out, marry straight, have one husband or have one wife. We have our different paths for our future. And let's take for an example, a world leader, he's a pastor whose daughter got pregnant. And then he felt like God had abandoned him. This is a child I raised in the way of the Lord. I preached to people to be holy, and then my child goes to do this. But what did he do? The Lord just told him to let her be. You don't know what I'm taking her through. And so they helped her raise this child. Today, she's a world-renowned leader and teacher. She is doing amazing. Her story is an inspiration to a whole other people. So sometimes, let's not take the mistake away from the children. It could happen. But what do you do as a parent to support that child in any way you can? For me, marriage is not a support. Marriage is not what I will make them go through, because I do not want them at the end of the day to live the life that they were cut out to live.
I'll come to you.
Just because they want to pay for consequences.
Good morning, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, go ahead, please.
I'm Oladoyin and I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, what I just want to say is that for me, getting those kids married would be a wrong decision in my own view, because getting them married at that age, they don't know anything about marriage. They'll just keep on making babies. But I believe as parents, they should just sit down together and have a discussion and think of how to support them and make that boy know that he already has a responsibility. If possible, they could even go back to school without anyone knowing they committed such atrocity before. And if by God's grace, they could still get married together, no problem. But getting them married to each other is a no.
All right, point taken. Let me come to you.
Yeah, because I like what she just said, because getting them married to each other, they are babies. You understand? And if you don't address the issue properly, it's going to go like a vicious circle. The child is still going to go around the same way they are going around. Do you understand? So we need to, as parents, it has happened now, it's happened. Both families should come together and then support them, but not to get them married. Take care of the child. Let everybody understand their responsibility that they are going to take on now, especially the boy and the girl. Both of them have to understand their responsibility to take it up and then support that child. Make them have their separate lives. If destiny will bring them together as husband and wife, fine.
Together.
If not, let it be.
It doesn't matter.
Do you understand? Let it be.
Okay.
And that is why I take it to parents. We must keep, we should not stop talking. Keep talking about consequences of the actions we take in life.
To children.
Boy to children, boy and girl. And start from when they are babies. Start telling them the importance of their privacy and respecting themselves as a human being and how to respect other people.
And that their bodies are not toys.
Honestly, we need to drum it into their ears. A lot of parents will keep going on as if everybody is talking. Majority are not talking. And even the ones talking, what are the information they are giving?
Right.
You must give out black and white. Call every part of the body the real name. Stop saying bum. Say it the way it is. And let them understand that emotions is natural. You get to a certain stage in your life, you feel this way because God has made your body that way. But you must control it. And how do you channel it? You channel it to other aspects. Hey boy, get a hobby. Please get a hobby. Start doing things so that you don't sit down, all you think about is a naked girl, naked body. This one body, that one, that
watching on these days. These days,
do you understand?
What are they watching?
Especially these days that this little thing gives you everything. We must understand that. So for a case like this, it is very, very clear. And families must be involved. Both families must be involved.
I think we've done justice to this conversation. Nima, wanted to add anything to that?
No, as much as I agree with you, I know for a fact that it's not a one-answer question. That this solution you've given might work for one person and fail in other ways, and the children will not learn anything.
All right.
So for others, whatever works for you as a mother, adopt it.
Fantastic. All right. That's all we can take on this. We didn't take any tweets on this.
We're so engrossed. Let's leave for tweets.
So that we can then change the topic again.
Yes.
Anyone?
Is it opening? It's taking a while.
Unfortunately, maybe we'll take it away. Let's
Okay, I've seen tweets. Okay, what Ibrahim says, they should never be rewarded with support marriage in addition to supported upbringing. Whatever happens, okay, Ibrahim, whatever happens, these kids should never be allowed to get married at this age. They've done something wrong and they should face the consequences. Each to stay in his or her parental home and visit accordingly to support the pregnant girl while she continues her education.
Okay, David Oluwatobi says, I know many women who got pregnant as teenagers but didn't have opportunities to get pregnant again when they got married. As much as I am not supporting their actions, some things are mysterious to us, but God understands.
All right.
Bilikis Mafe says, marriage isn't the solution. These are babies making babies. They are teens, hormones are still forming, attractions led to this act. They need counseling, not marriage. When a pathway to care for this child should be decided on.
All right, that's all we can take on that. So your view came up with this word called nanny-scapism. We'll tell you what it is when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So there seemed to be a rise in nanny-scapism, which is a word we coined here on Your View. And let me define it. It's an act of a parent or guardian escaping from their parental role and leaving their children or wards to a nanny. Reports has it that many children are devoid of good morals as a result of this. So we ask, how do we reduce this issue of nanny-scapism? You can join the conversation on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so this word that we came up with is just a way to define this act that is almost hard to avoid in this 21st century as a parent, where you're out there and you leave a lot of responsibilities. In fact, the nanny knows your child more than you do. Now, we talk about it often, but you don't understand or appreciate the magnitude of how this has really, really come to stay in many homes. Many people are clueless. And when I came home, I mean, I recently resigned my work, and it's good to be there, but I noticed that I'm there, but I'm not there. So even though I have resigned, I'm there doing so many other things, but I'm still not there because my daughter came to me last time, Mommy, can you help me with my homework where we're studying? And I go, yeah, excited. And she brought her books. I'm like, just give me like 10 minutes. And so we went to sleep. I didn't do so. I was there, but I really was. So in this modern times, how do we help ourselves to be really present? Yeah.
Me, I will say, not every woman who can give birth has that mother instinct, has that nurture, that, I don't know how to, the word to use exactly, that, you know, there are some, yes, that there are some mothers that know how to nurture, they pay attention, they follow through, you know, some are naturally gifted in that. And that's why I would tell people, marriage is not for everybody. Let's not be forcing people to do what they are not really cut out for. Childbearing is not for everybody too. So if you know your strengths, follow your strength. If you were not that type. Now, let me give you an example. There are some women who, they have that nurture. They can nurture, not just their kids, everybody around them. They have that, they can pay attention. There are some women who are in the middle. They can do it, they cannot do it. There are some women who are not. In fact, if you ask them, did you even want to have this child? Like, necessity.
Well, we're all products of different kinds of mothers. And we're here.
I know. So those ones who do not have that nurture, it's very easy for them to relinquish all of their responsibility to a nanny.
Right.
When they now find out they get a job and they're working. So they just make sure, as long as I'm paying the nanny takes care. When I was a teacher, we had a mother who brings the child to school without bathing the child. It's not a joke. We will bathe the child in the class. We will brush the hair, brush the teeth, dress the child up every day. And she was a mother. So where do you put that kind of woman?
Okay, so you're helping us understand that there are some people that just it doesn't make them bad.
It doesn't make them bad.
That's an extreme case you just painted. I think that one had mental problem.
Not necessarily.
It's true. No. She might be going through certain emotional issues you cannot determine because you're not a psychologist, but she can be balanced. I am guilty of what you call nanny-scapism. But I've learned one thing, humility. So my son is he's been with his caregiver since he was 6 months old. attached to her. He's extremely attached to her. They have a pet name for each other. She's renamed him Boluwatife. She calls her Yolu. They are so attached to each other. And I see this love where, I love you, Yolu. She understands him. It's raining season. Even when I was home on Tuesday, his lunch was hot amala. Amala. And they were feeding each other, and he sits. I can't even cuddle him to feed him. The way I train the sister is sit down, feed yourself. This is your food. Except when it's hot and I need to feed for certain reasons. I tell them to self-develop. But she cuddles him. She takes care of him. And I feel sometimes guilty, or sometimes even jealous. Actually, I felt jealous watching the relationship from behind. But I've seen them, and I see, honestly, she loves this boy. Honestly, she does love him. And he honestly loves her back, because when he needs certain care, there was a time he was sick and someone was going to give him injections. He turned towards her. He didn't turn to me. Oh. He knew I would hold him for that injection. He turned to her and she was crying, and they were both crying.
See love.
And I was like, yeah.
So I'll pause you for a second, because that brings me to
humility. At this point, I had to humble myself. And go to her every time I need to understand him.
Your son. Okay, so it brings me to the point that Obiajilu has said. So women must understand that maybe you're not cut out for certain things, and we must not beat up ourselves because you're not doing that, because that's just your makeup.
Don't be angered or arrogant.
Let me come to you, Harriet.
But then again, you are not cut out for that. You must learn. Be open to learning. Do you understand? Okay? It could be from your upbringing, where you are coming from. Because if growing up, you are not used to your mother hugging you.
No, they hug
complimenting you and things like that. You tend to pass that same to your own child. Do you understand? But now seeing how it is, especially in our world today, I tell you, I went for a wedding, and the girl said to me, Auntie Harriet, I just see you with the way you go with your daughter. Every little thing, you hug her, you tease her, you tap her, you do this. See, there's only one thing. I wish my mom could embrace me, just give me a hug sometimes. But my mom does everything, but that hug, she can't give it to me. But looking at it, she never had it.
Don't make me cry.
Do you understand?
I wish that too.
No, she never had it. So we are learning now. So please do that, because it goes a long way in a child's life.
Fantastic.
You see this, Nima, you sit back and you watch the love between your nanny and your son. Please try as much as possible to break in.
You know the funny thing?
I need you to break in.
That was how I was raised. My mom would wake me up with a kiss when she needs me to do certain chores. I was pampered. But I am not available. I'm on the run. It's 6 a.m. I need to get out. I don't need a child. Mommy, come and hug me. And my daughter likes that. She would delay me for 15 minutes just to get emotional. So I needed to toughen up. I needed to toughen her up. And I was doing it again with the boy. And someone else just provided that love. And I'm there feeling guilty. That's why I'm feeling guilty. I know I got it a lot when I was a child. I feel guilty. I'm not available when I should.
You know, I don't want to get emotional here, because this is touching my bone. You see, I recently, I mean, I'm available. Everybody envies the fact that my house is just 2 streets from my home. My house is 2 streets from my office. So they're like, oh, Mariah, so you're available. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, and then I resign. I'm like, they're like, oh, fantastic, well done. I'm just like, yeah, right. Because I'm home, I'm available, but am I there? And it's because of how I was raised. I knew my mother loved me and she could do anything for me. But we didn't have that mommy, daughter, it wasn't there. She just provided everything I needed was there. But her wasn't. She just provided. So I felt that
that's the right way.
I provided everything.
Everybody.
I work. I'm here 505. I leave work. I'm here for you. I'm present, and I feel that I'm doing something. But really, I'm not. But my husband shows them so much love. It's ridiculous. He's always hugging them, playing with them. So initially I had all the love. But now, as they're growing older, they are going towards him more because they see that this guy is my guy. Me, I'm just that serious woman. So I see what you're saying, that you can't give what you don't have. And we must begin to learn it and be intentional about it.
So I have a friend.
Let me pause this because she's holding for a second.
Yeah, Mariah, it's a process you have to go through with every other woman who have decided to say, listen, I'm going to be a homemaker now. Now, it's a process. Don't beat yourself too hard. Take every step, one step at a time, every day. And ask yourself, have I really connected today? Tomorrow, have I connected tomorrow? Think of what do they like? Try and get in touch with them. What is it that you like? even if you don't like the game he's playing, sit down there and do ta 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 2 minutes. Do you understand?
Right.
Because we need that connection. I'm saying that because I'm looking at my children, they've gone through one stage, another stage to another stage, and where they are now. And today I will tell you, my daughter said to me, said, Mommy, we all went out and I was saying to them, I said, I hear my mother's voice telling me, are you supposed to be here at this time? She's not here, but her voice is telling me, are you supposed to be here at this time? And then every little thing, they say it. They tell you, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
They bring their girlfriend gist to you. They bring their boyfriend gist to you.
Okay, so let's bring it back home to the issue of nanny, because I don't want us to go divert too much from video. As what is the role of the nanny? I mean, where do we draw the line between that nanny and parenting? You want to help us there?
Yes.
Go ahead, Nino, then I'll come to you.
Okay. I think you shouldn't draw the line too much.
Okay.
Because most times we do it out of jealousy.
Thank you.
Yes, it's true. So I would scold my son and he would run to the young girl that used to be with him till yesterday he still did it. And he would run to her and say, hey, Lala, my mommy beats me. That's so-called for him. Jealousy would now mean, okay, I don't want to see you with her anymore, because you start to separate them. And then he doesn't have comfort, he doesn't have where to go. You now cause a problem, maybe even a mental whatever for a child like that. That's balance for him. Don't do so much about you. Do what works.
For the child.
For the child, for the benefit of the child. I've been lucky, favored to find a family that they will not abuse that child. Some parents have to deal with leaving their child and suffering abuse. So you'll be lucky if you found that balance. Just let it work.
Okay, let me take this call from
Play your
Hamzat.
part.
Hamzat, are you there? Thanks for calling. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
My name is Hamza Halil Ibrahim
Okay.
from Kwara State.
Yes.
Based on the, what's it called, the former topic you are discussing,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
The former topic, the 14-years-old pregnant
Yes,
lady
go ahead.
and the 15-years-old boy.
Yeah.
I think the first should be from the parents.
Okay.
When we are growing up, when I was young, my mother used to tell my elder sister that if any man touches you, you are dead.
Doesn't
Based
work
on
now.
that, you don't need to, your child should not be exposed to illicit. But for the man, in the northern part of Nigeria, I'll be very much happy that I have a son at my age mate. When I'm growing, by the time I'll be 30, my son will be like 15. He will be my friend. And if he has a sound education, a sound background like me, so we can be able to grow a strong family together. Based on this present topic you are discussing, is the global world that we saw ourselves, the 21st century. Mothers take themselves to be queen. You want to work, you want to nurse a baby. So women will abandon their children because of worldly things. It doesn't worth it. That's why if you see some children, they grow up, they don't have mother-child relationship.
What a
Nannies
father
are
child.
killing our children. What the nannies are teaching our children today are very bad. So nanny has not supposed to be encouraged at all.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me come to you there and go on the break. Go
The
ahead.
nannies are not supposed to be encouraged. How do you want us to balance it? So for me, is to know why you want to have a nanny. What role is the nanny coming to play? When I'm not, for me, when I'm not available, you are there to look after the kids because there's nobody to look after them. When I come back home,
Take a back seat.
you take a back seat as the nanny and I take my place. That way, I can find out what has been happening while I was not there. I can, I have time to connect with my children, but I won't let you do all the connecting. And when I come
while
back, I
you're
still
there.
come back with work and you are handling the
Let's go on a
children
quick break.
for me.
When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's take some tweets, please.
Okay,
Any tweets?
Oshinawa Kinsley says, parenting alone is a full-time job from women. The children at tender ages need more of them than the men, but the economic needs of the family, which the man alone can't cater for anymore, has forced women to share breadwinners. to share breadwinning instead of helpmates. And he says, we can't have it all. That's life. Not being judged by your parents does not equal, hugged by your parents does not equal deprivation. It just means they are lacking in that area. Most kids take being sent to school by their parents for granted. Some don't even get that.
That's how I see it. If you go to school, you have a house, you have food. I'm doing quite a bit, girl. But you're not telling me that I'm not hugging. I want you to hug.
Obabola is talking to me. Obabola says I should break the bond between my son and his caregiver. It's very important to not allow my son grow up thinking I'm his aunt. Create more time for him and remember the kids of today have magnetic brains. I'm grateful to God. My case is still, what mothers go through is not my story. I have no reason to break that relationship because the woman even reminds him, mom is back and he knows mommy's car and everything. But there's this bond that she just feels towards the boy and the boy sees it, and I cannot deny that.
She's a nice
so
person.
some mothers will put their own selfish interest over that.
Right.
What your son needs when you're not available is a balanced home. If you secure it, let it be.
Right.
If you fear that your child is being abused, which I did when I initially started living him, he was a baby. He was he could hardly say a word. So sometimes I would close early. I would drive like crazy. Sometimes I would bust and leave my car just to get home on time to see whether my son is being loved. And I was amazed at every time I tried to find out.
Let me come to Harriet because issue of
response I got.
parenting, because I know you've worked with many families, and one of the things you said during the break is that the kids they don't like each other. They are mean to each other. I mean, I remember I was at my daughter's she made sure I came to her school events last week Friday, and I was seeing she was in the choir, and I know as she got up, she was looking all over for me. She and her friend. Her friend saw me. Her friend had the look of, my parents are not here. You are looking for your mom. Your mom is right here. Auntie, your mom is there. So my daughter saw me and she was happy. But I could see her friend's look was,
she was
my
jealous.
parents are not there. She just had that look of, my parents are not here. Afterwards, I asked my daughter, your friend's mom, was she there? No, nobody came for her. So when you said that thing that the kids aren't really nice to each other.
They're not nice to each other.
So it's the love you show them at home.
Thank
that
you.
sustains them. That sustains them.
That's what helps them. That's what puts them out there, and they're able to face the pressure within their peers. Kids are really, really nasty among themselves. Do you understand? Especially the kids we have these days. They're not friendly at all. Jesus. Because they pick on certain things. Do you understand? They admire you for something. It goes even as little as some even admire you because your mother is in the PTA. Yeah. And they see your mother as the fashionista. She comes out dressy. Oh, they go around you. And then the other one that is there, not having that, is lacking in that aspect, and they put them in their place. But the only thing that gives that child the confidence to stand is when you have your home backing. Do you understand? So that is why parents must try as much as possible to make sure that you compliment your child. If you want to correct them, please correct them with love. Let them understand, I don't dislike you as my son, Emeka or Jane. But that act that you carried out is what I don't like, and that is what I'm correcting you on. It's not by pam, pam, pa, 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 pa. Hey, no. Growing up, my mom didn't attend PTA meetings, and I know how that used to feel. She was always in Okeanri, hustling to make sure I'm okay. But she never attended any meetings. Okay. And I felt that like, everybody's there with their skirt and blouse and looking at their shoes, looking all nice and trendy. And my mom sees the Okeanri.
I did not care that nobody even attended. I didn't even know they were supposed to attend this person. I found my feet anyhow.
But I like what Nima said concerning, see, what you say, what both of you say is extremely important. It's important our viewers get it. You're saying the children need love. They need love. And yes, the kids are hard on each other, but they need that love from the home. Now, if your nanny is giving that love, don't break it. If your nanny is because don't feel bad that you can't be there. If you have what keeps you away, that's fine. Understand your reality. That's what you told us. That understand your reality. Maybe you're not the nurturing type. Yeah. Understand your reality. If that's your reality, fine. If you get a nanny that does that, don't get jealous because that child needs that love. That love sustains that child when they are amongst their mates. So it's important that we...
Mariah, me, I will learn to give my child that love.
Okay.
So if I have a nanny, if I have a nanny who is over-loving my child, I would naturally get jealous. I'm the mother here. So I will take my position. I will put my... I will put myself in that position. I will force myself. I will learn if I need to go for counseling, if I need to go to court. I'm the mother. I should give that love.
Okay, I understand where Obiajulu is coming from, certainly from background. I grew up. I had my mom, I had my aunt, I had mothers. Around and you. On my Nika day, there was a Catholic mother There was Mommy Stella, there was Mommy Pemi, and all the mothers loved me equally. Nobody displaced anybody. I learned on time what I needed was balance. I grew up sheltered, balanced. So everything I get, when I'm talking, somebody say, I didn't make the mistakes that my mates made. I grew up from a balanced home. My auntie too, tomorrow, you saw me here sitting on the table on Friday talking about picking up a dress. She will still go shopping and remember to shop for me. We talk. I have people who I can run to when I have issues.
That's all we can take. The show ends so quickly. It's unbelievable. But we have to bring you back.
Yes.
No problem. We have a lot to learn from you.
No
So we got to bring you back on the show. All right, that's all we can take on today's show. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.